So think fast, act slow, or think slow, act fast. These are terms that come out of my fourth book, which is about big projects. And a lot of folks who knew my writing previously thought, big projects, you're not a big projects guy. Where does your background fit in with this subject matter? And the answer is, I'm a psychology guy, and the psychology is absolutely central here. So, for example, if you look at the track record of failed projects and you ask yourself, all right, why do they fail? What you will find is that there's a pattern in the failures. And the pattern is this. We call it think fast, act slow. And what it means by that, we mean that people engage in quick and superficial planning. Quick and superficial planning. And when you do that, you don't discover problems that could be discovered. And therefore, you don't discover the solutions for those problems in planning. And that's really important because when you're in planning, things are safe, right? Budgets don't explode in planning. Your schedule doesn't go up in flames in planning. Instead, they engage in quick and superficial planning. Then they launch delivery. Well, guess what? Delivery is when budgets explode and schedules go up in flames. And delivery is when things have to go right for that reason. Well, guess what? Because you engaged in quick and superficial planning, you didn't discover the problems, you didn't discover the solutions. The problems don't go away. They eventually surface during delivery, and that's when things go very, very wrong. One problem, another problem, they start to collide against each other like cars on a foggy highway. And then what happens is the project, which starts at a gallop, yay, we're so excited, we've got shovels in the ground, look how big the hole is, we're making lots of progress. Everything starts to slow down. Everything starts to slow down. And so what starts as an excited sprint becomes a long, slow death march to the end, right? That's the pattern of failed projects. Now, why did that happen? One of the several reasons why we engage in that sort of think fast approach, quick and superficial planning, is because of human psychology. Every single element of human psychology that is relevant to big projects leans in the same direction. It leans in favor of overconfidence. We've got it figured out, right? We know what to do. We've done enough of this planning. Let's just get on with it. You're overconfident, and that's dangerous. And that's what kills project after project after project. So the solution, of course, is to reverse that, to go think slow, act fast, meaning to engage in serious, rigorous, difficult, exhaustive planning. And then you say, well, wait a second, doesn't that slow everything down? Yeah, it does. It does take time and effort to do that. But guess what? That gives you a plan that's reliable. Then when you go to delivery, that reliable plan produces a smooth delivery, and smooth is fast. That's how you succeed. Anytime I talk about planning, particularly talk about exhaustive planning, people are like, oh God, no. Oh God, we're gonna have meetings in the boardroom and we're gonna have paperwork and flow charts. And what they're thinking is they're thinking of planning as a bureaucratic process, right? And let me tell you, that's not what I'm talking about. And this is really, really important to understand. You can have meetings in the boardroom and pile up all the paperwork in the world, and you can do that for years and years and years, and at the end of it, you will still not have a plan worth the name. Perfect example, California High-Speed Rail, one of the worst projects in modern history. They were in planning for 10 years, and when they started, they didn't have a plan worthy of the name. It's pathetic because they approached planning as a bureaucratic process. So if I'm not talking about planning as that, what do I mean? It's very simple. It's planning as experiential learning. Human beings are really terrible at looking at a situation, assessing it, coming up with a course of action, and then implementing it successfully the first time. But we're really, really good at experiential learning. What's experiential learning? Super simple. Let me try that. Okay, it fell down. That didn't work. What have you learned? I learned, don't do that. And then you try something else, and then you try something else, and then you try something else. That's experiential learning. That's how you learn how to ride a bicycle. That's how you learn how to reliably deliver a big project. So how do you do that in the real world, right? You can't build the skyscraper to see if it falls down. The answer is simulation and iteration. You need to have a simulation, which is to say an artificial world, in which you can pretend that you're in the real world, and then you can iterate, which is to say you try, you build the skyscraper, oops, it fell down, then you learn from that lesson and you go on. Simulation and iteration is the core of real planning, the sort of planning that delivers.